All right. Hey, Resin Maniackers, YouTubers, garage kidders, spaceship builders, model builders, and nerds from far and wide. This is a new edition of Resin Maniacs. It's not out of the box with Shakey Dave. We are here at Wonderfest 2017. And I have here right with me, if you've ever been to Wonderfest and you're in the hobby, you know who I'm with right now. And this is Dave Hodge. And would you tell us, what's your official title here for Wonderfest?
I am the Chief Executive Officer of the show. Some people do refer to me as Dear Leader.
Dear Leader. So, Ken John Hodge. So, and you're kind of, from my understanding, because I've been coming to the show for about 10 years now, and my understanding, every time I see you, you're going.
Mm-hmm.
You're going this way or that way,
mm-hmm.
and going. And
mm-hmm.
I just know, well, he looks busy, but he never seems to be doing anything. So what is it you actually are kind of doing? What you just kind of check on who's...
My function at show is to put out all little fires that perhaps start around the show. And when I say that, a lot of people say that the show looks very seamless, that it goes very well, it looks like it's run very well. Well, there's two big reasons for that. One is the amazing staff I have that helps us put this show on, and the other is my function, which is if a problem crops up, I'm going to dash over there and take care of the problem.
Gotcha.
So, and the idea is I do it so people don't notice.
I do have to say, coming here for 10 years, it does look like everyone just kind of shows up and hangs out and it happens.
Mm-hmm.
And it's working.
Right.
Working.
And it's very much like, I compare it to Monty Python and the Holy Grail. That movie looks like it was all improvised, when in fact it was all completely scripted. So,
I never knew that.
Yeah.
I always thought it was just...
Well, and that's what Wonderfest is. Many of us work all year long to put this show together, and there's a lot of technical challenges. There's all kinds of bureaucratic challenges that we have to overcome, and of course the idea is that we take all that on, and then people can just come here and enjoy themselves.
Gotcha. Now, you started as an attendee. You used to enter the contest.
Mm-hmm.
You won some awards.
I have.
And so what, did you come out to the show and you just enjoyed it so much, you're like, I got to be a part of this, I got to help build or add on to it?
Well, the history of Wonderfest is pretty interesting. When I first came here many years ago, I moved up from Alabama, I joined the Sci-Fi Model Club here in town, and it turns out that they were the ones that run Wonderfest.
Yeah, because it grew from the club.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I first attended Wonderfest as a dealer. I was a dealer before anything, so that's why I have an affinity for the dealers at the show, because
Gotcha.
I was a dealer, and I still am. I still have tables at the show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So you're a modeler as well.
Absolutely.
Now, were you dinos, spaceships, monsters? What was your...
A little bit of everything.
Really?
If it was out of the if it was out of the ordinary, I kind of enjoyed it. But I also like modeling airplanes. And
now, do you still build and paint today?
absolutely.
Or? Okay, because you notice a lot of people in the hobby tend to... It's weird. The more you get involved in the behind the scenes, the less you have time for the actually what you do.
That happens to a lot of people, but yeah. I find it actually a work of restoring sanity to build.
Yes.
And I still enter local contests.
That's
and that
awesome.
type of thing that I can. Of course, I can't enter here, of course, but I enter local contests. I've done pretty well over the years, so I travel around just in the local area in Cincinnati and Indianapolis. They know me pretty well, and I enter different things. I've especially come to do a lot of wildlife sculpture lately in my career, just because of my career at the zoo that I had. And I've done very, very well with that.
Okay, so like, what type of wildlife do you like to...
Mostly big cats.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because that's what I took care of.
Little digression. The zoo you did currently work at, Louisville Zoo, they have a beautiful snow leopard there.
Mm-hmm.
Just beautiful.
I was the person that actually wrote the care book for all the zoos in the U.S. for snow leopards.
Oh, That is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That is awesome.
Yep, it's
So,
still used today.
would it be possible for you to set up for me and my wife to meet you at the zoo and let's get to pet the leopard and, you know, walk him on a leash?
Well, let's see. Let me review that in two parts. Set you up to go to the zoo, sure. Pet the leopard, no way in hell.
Oh, can we dangle
They
a little?
they don't like being petted.
So, all right. But anyway, back with Wonderfest too. The one thing you always do, and I kind of wondered, I mean, because I say, you know, we always see people, everyone knows you, but no one knows, you know.
Right.
Well, because you're always back.
Right.
But you always, at 3 o'clock on Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
you're there for
Right.
the awards.
Right.
Now, is that because of your title of what you do, or you're just like, no, this is the one thing that I want to do. This is what I like.
It's both. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to the awards, I think the head of the whole show should be the one giving the awards. That is not a responsibility I take lightly. I don't delegate that to anyone else. I'm the one that should do that. But it's also because I really actually enjoy it. I like to see the faces of the winners. I like sometimes to joke about them, as you probably have heard in the past.
Yeah, you've cracked at me a couple times.
I crack on folks and that type of thing. But I think that's part of the fun. I like to refer to it as the Academy Awards of Modeling, especially in science fiction and fantasy. And I try to make it kind of like that. I because of the amount of the awards, I occasionally have to, you know, do it pretty quick, simply because we are
just the amount and scope of the entries,
right?
And that's the wonderful thing,
right?
You know,
right.
And like, you know, I've been in that room. I'm going to be in it this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in that room every year, and
mm-hmm.
one thing I really enjoy watching, and I'm sure because you see it from the other side.
Mm-hmm.
Is you see everyone's hard work is paid off.
Sure.
For that year, because you know this is the one everyone's getting ready.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and everyone, you know, and it pays off. And one thing I really enjoy is watching the kids get their
sure.
awards. You know, it's just always fun,
mm-hmm.
and I think it's also a good way to keep them coming back because. You know, a lot of people like to say it's a dying hobby. It's not a dying hobby. However, it's a niche hobby.
It is.
And people are, the younger generation is getting to a point
mm-hmm.
where they don't, you know, want to work with their hands so much.
Right. Well, they work with their hands, but it's, that's what
they don't have anything
exactly.
to show. And it's like how you said a moment ago, you're like, I still build kits because it keeps my sanity.
Mm-hmm.
And you know that feeling, I know that feeling
mm-hmm.
of when you walk away
mm-hmm. that
from your and you see
mm-hmm.
that, you have that accomplishment,
right?
And it's just a really satisfying feeling.
Sure, and that's why a lot of us do it. It's because it's very satisfying working with your hands, creating. I also, like I said, I also sculpt, so I actually create my own forms and everything, and that's pretty cathartic in and of itself because you take something practically from nothing and you make it into something very tangible. And it's very cool.
It starts up here and flows out.
Your imagination is actually put out there.
What do you find is the most rewarding?
Well, the most rewarding thing to me, and it was just brought home to me again tonight, is I'm walking through the room as the night is fading and we're getting ready, and Scott Kelly of Alternative Images stops me and he shakes my hand and he says, "This is the most incredible show. I love coming here every year. I appreciate everything you do." Now, it's just impossible not to feel any better than you feel when somebody tells you something like that.
Well, I can tell you personally, is a small-time kit producer, is a builder, painter, and everything, that we do appreciate. I can't tell you guys and your crew, and I know you're like a family. You have your little internal spats, and you get along, and it's a family, you know? And
oh, yes,
yeah,
sure is.
And it has that, but the fact that you guys do it every year, and you come out, and it's like me and my wife, we love it so much in the town of Louisville as well. We come in on Wednesday now, and we pull in, and she says, our home away from home. We wouldn't miss it for the world. And we go to a lot of conventions that are much bigger than this, but we find Wonderfest is the perfect size because it's big enough to where there's always something to do, always something going on, but it's laid back enough to where you can relax. And you build a familial kind of relationship with everyone coming and going. And I'm sure you've built that over the years with everyone.
Sure, absolutely. There's certain people I see, you know, always know and know well and that type of thing. Look forward to them coming, and even among our guests and stuff. There are several that return quite a bit, and I have a great relationship with them and everything. But that leads me to a point I really want to make. Since this is going out to folks.
Yeah.
Okay. We get this all the time, and I just want to tell you out there, this convention is an undertaking. Okay. The circle of people that actually put this convention on is not very big for what you see out there. That production that you see out there.
Yeah.
We get people, why don't you do one on the West Coast? Why don't you do one? Why is it held in Louisville? This is where we live.
Yeah.
But the circle of us that actually do this is actually not very large. And quite frankly, if I tried to do a second show anywhere, and I'm retired, but just to work on this show, if I tried to do a second show, it would kill me. it would also kill most of the rest of us. I mean, this is a show this size, and as you say, it's not the biggest, but
it's the perfect size.
But it is the richest show.
Yeah,
I know it is. Yeah. It is full of things to do. It is full of all kinds of different venues and different tastes.
and the demos and the panels and and the other thing that's great about it is you get some really good guests, professional model builders who've worked with Lucas, and you get a lot of great old actors. And one of my favorite years here was the year of when you had James Karen and Linnea Quigley from Return of the Living Dead and William Stout, and they did a panel. And I'll go to the bigger cons panels. They're great, but this was a panel you could actually interact with. When you meet these people here, you can walk up to them, you can talk to them, you know. And for example, like Frank Dietz and William Stout, now they're like, no, I always come here every year, you know, production design, you know, this is what they do. So it does make it richer. And that's why I think it's the perfect size.
Yeah.
It just, I don't think it needs to, it's just perfect how it is.
And you do get to meet some very lovely people.
Oh, yeah.
You really do. I mean, I've had several favorites come through. I think the year we had Anne Francis was just pretty much magic. And she was just the most wonderful, wonderful, sweet human being you could have ever met.
Yeah, and Ben Chapman's been here as well too, and Sarah Carwall's here again this year.
Yes,
she likes to come out. Vincent Price's daughter. I mean, the list goes on. And what is really good, the newer conventions, I'm not slamming them in any way. They're great. Their guests are all your more contemporary horror and but I like that your guests reach back into that golden era of horror and science fiction and. You know, and Bob Burns, I mean, he was just, you know, a fixture of the show.
Right. He was a regular for many years until his health finally. And we miss Bob a great deal.
We do, and it was great a couple years out when he, you know, he made it out here for one, you know, a go round.
Yeah, he was a regular fixture here.
So, and it's just I plan to keep coming out as much as I can and supporting the show. And I tell everyone this, even if they ask what Wonderfest is. If you know, I'm like, just come. Even if you don't build kits, you're going to have fun.
Sure.
And 4 years ago, I had my first dealer table. I brought my friend Matt, never touched a kit. He'd always come over, oh, those are neat. This is his fourth one in a row and his third contest in a row.
That's awesome.
So
That's awesome.
You get hooked, man.
Yeah, sure.
You get hooked. But I just want to say, man, thank you so much for what you do, and especially thanks for taking the time.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Dude,
it really is. It's nice to sit and talk, and to all you folks out there, all of you that support the show, all of you that don't yet but should, we thank you.
Thank you, man. And seriously, if you've never been to Wonderfest or Louisville, it's a great town. It's a great show. And I got to plug Bardstown. It's a fun area. And the zoo. Mm-hmm. The zoo is amazing. But just come out.
And remember, it's Louisville.
What is it now? Real quick, before we cut out. Because I've met different people and I've heard them say it in different ways.
Louisville.
Louisville.
Yeah, Louisville.
Louisville.
There you go.
Thank you, Dave Hodge.
You bet. Thank you, sir.
And thanks for tuning in, guys. As always, come to Resin Maniacs on Facebook. Become part of the group on YouTube. Click like, subscribe, and chime in. We want to be as open as we can. Chime in. Let's start, open up. Hit us with questions. We'll see you next time.
Bye, y'all.